Welcome to Our Soul Whisper with Cathi Belmont and co-host Dr. Pat, a sacred space for self-discovery, healing, and transformation. At the heart of Our Soul Whisper is the sacred truth. When we pause and listen inward, the soul always speaks. This show offers a safe, empowering space where those whispers are heard, honored, and lovingly guided into full expression. Each episode invites you to be curious about yourself and the reality you're in, while gently reminding you that you are exactly where you need to be. Let today's message settle in your heart. Maybe even journal about it. And if something resonates, peace, clarity, or insight, pass it along to someone whose soul might be calling for the same. Keep listening inward. Your soul knows the way. Our Soul Whisper starts now. Hey everybody, welcome. We've got a great show. I'm Dr. Pat and I get to take this incredible journey, as you heard in the opener, with Cathi Belmont. She is the creator, founder of Our Soul Whisper. This is about self-discovery, empowerment, and inspired action. Today, this is a very important episode with Cathi. You know, as a coach, the coach she is, and you know, when you bring a body of work, and it doesn't matter what life experience you have, it doesn't matter what occupation you have, there's something you bring forward. And then one day you're called to do more. I'm just going to say the word more, but you're called to do more. And if you can step forward without question, without doubt, or even a little doubt to help move you forward, what you come up with is a way to help other people that have been where you are. And that's today's show. Empowerment, a homecoming to your inner authority. So here's the question before we start. Do you look at what your friends say to you? Maybe in a relationship and you're feeling less than. How about the daily monitoring of a bank account? Maybe you're somebody that has a dream, but you're hearing a voice inside your head say, not this lifetime, girlfriend. So today, get ready to take that journey with Cathi as you hear her experience, strength, and hope today. For all of you out there that have a question mark, as one of my little speakers I love to listen to, if you have a question mark where there should be a period. Cathi, thank you so much for today. This is seriously important. I've been doing a series of shows, one especially yesterday, with information, especially about the amount of women leaving the workforce. We're now up to close to 400,000 women. But the question really isn't why that is, because we tend to look at that from a victim perspective and not an empowerment perspective. So how does this is a topic you picked because this is part of your journey, isn't it?
You know, it is. And I love this topic and I love the title. It is a homecoming. You know, it's our inner authority, our inner strength. It's one of my lessons for sure, one that I take on and see and am faced with every day. And I learn to take looking from outside myself to looking within. And that's empowerment and every day in any which way. It's remembering that strength, that courage that's within us. And it's honoring our voice. It's listening to that voice. It's listening to our heart. And it's making those choices that are true for us. And like you said, Dr. Pat, you know, who are we listening to outside of ourselves rather than here? And sometimes it's not, you know, you're going, you know, sometimes it's what we maybe circumstantial, you know, we can't see, but we just know. And it's sometimes that path can be a little challenging and also empowering. And so we're so glad that we took it when we look back in hindsight. So, you know, we stop, you know, looking outside for permission and we realize that we are the permission in our lives.
You know what I love about this? Because, I don't want to go into a lot of detail. I'm going to actually do a show on this in the upcoming weeks. Because, the way people may see us today, they think we're problemless.
Mm.
I think I made that word up. Is that it? I don't even know if that's a word. But I don't know. But what happens is when you're entering into a world and you're entering a lofty dream, or you're in territory that's unfamiliar. I've been there in relationships where I just one day I woke up and I'm like, what the what's going on? What am I doing here, people? But again, we could be so hard on ourselves, or we can become empowered and strong.
Mhm.
So, what have you discovered along your life journey?
Well, I'm capable of a lot more than I thought. You know, I came upon this quote that really resonated with me, and it really it led me to share a story that I want to share with everyone. It's a very empowering one in my life, and an experience and a memory that I will always hold to me. And so it's a quote by a Layla Delia, and she says she remembered who she was, and the game changed. And I have a game changer in my life that I want to share. So after a lot of subtle nudges and a huge big push, I decided to leave a 14-year marriage. And after trying all the things to save it and change and me and everything else, nothing seemed to make a difference. So I went into a state of resignation. I said, okay, this is it. I'm just going to make the best of it. And so later on, the big push came, and there was no denying what I needed to do. So I gathered up my things, my three precious pups, and I just found a place of my own to grieve. And
Yeah,
so we did that for a few months. And there was one day I was sitting on my couch, and um, there was something that happened where all of a sudden, the subtle, peaceful energy just overcame me. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm back. And I actually said that out loud. And I remember smiling, saying, I'm back. And it's like my soul was like, okay, here we go. And it was such a powerful experience, and it was so empowering because I just returned back to myself. And
yeah,
so there were experiences along the way, opportunities that the universe gave to me even before I knew what was going on. And I
yeah,
said yes to those opportunities. They were very supportive, and they got me through. And so it's even when we can't see, it's on some level we know we're being supported, and we
yeah.
say yes.
And I see that's part of the journey that we don't talk about. We just go through stages and we think about things. However, part of this is really looking at ourselves and building up what I call this super resilience. And somebody asked me about this the other day, Cathi, but let's talk about that for a minute. Because one day you're sitting there, right? You and I both have had couch experiences, like on my couch. That's how crust busting was born.
Hmm.
It was a couch experience where I had gone through so many different versions of feeling awful about so many things. I mean, it was just lost a job, but then I forgot I went back to school. Oh, but I was, I was in an in-between space. But there's a moment where you come to a new realization about yourself. Did you have that moment? Did you have a moment where you just lit up on the inside?
I did. You mean from that experience or just,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I had been not honoring myself for so long. And I got used to that feeling, used to um, doing all the other things other than looking at me and what I truly needed. And so when that happened, life just began to change. There was a joy that started to come back, and there was an excitement for life, and there was a lot of unknowns, but there was a strength there that it's like, okay, I'm back home. And
Yeah.
that led me to just take one courageous step after another.
Yeah. But
Before I
it's
know it,
like,
I'm here.
yeah, I mean, what I love about this, it's kind of like we were joking, right, a little bit with Sierra before the show, and we were talking about, I was mentioning women's basketball for a short minute there, but what happens is you see what happens when I don't care what event it is, you see what happens when somebody reaches a point of just pure alignment with who they are. I don't care if it's a 3-point shot or it's a business endeavor or you finish school or you've gone through an egregious relationship, you feel lousy about it, and you have a moment where you remember who you are. It sounds like that's what happened. You got to that point where you remember the truth.
I did. And it was really, it was moving through those feelings as well that I had and doing my best at the time to really honor them. And it was, to be honest, it wasn't easy in the moment to see it as a lesson and a blessing.
No,
But I can see that now, and I can see, and there was enough awareness in me to just keep going. And I'm grateful for that awareness all the time. It helped me to constantly look at my mindset and how I wanted to look at that.
yeah,
And, see the whole experience as just, you know, relationships, they come and go. They're with us for a little bit of time and then, it moves on.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we either outgrow them or they're just there for a moment to teach us something.
And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I mean, I've said this before. We're in a world with other people. So let's talk about this strengthening your ability, about the empowerment and seeing the lesson and the blessing, right? Because we can also take the other side of the same coin and become disempowered. I alluded to this, earlier that I've worked with clients, you've worked with clients, and we see our clients go through different things. I know you had a recent client who
Yeah.
went through the process. So let's talk about that because uh, there is light at the end of the tunnel. That's what Mama Doris used to say all the time. She said, "Girls, there's light at the end of the tunnel." We never understood what she was talking about, but today I do. Have you seen this in the clients you work with?
Oh yeah, yeah. I met with one recently. She experiences what's called misophonia, and it's a condition characterized by, extreme emotional and physiological reactions. And I want to clarify, I'm going to say reaction versus response. So it was a reaction. And there was one point where it affected a relationship in her life. And so she came to me because she really wanted to look at that. And so as we were going through our session, she shared that she really feels helpless in those situations. Like it, and she actually said it feels like life or death. Like she just wants the person or the whatever that's making the sound or the visual repetitions just to stop.
Yeah.
And she actually had a past life memory where she was with someone and they were being hunted. And at one point they were hiding, and that other person she was with made a sound. And that led to them being captured and killed. And in that moment, she attached that memory to that experience she had. And
Wow.
it was like an instant lightness. I mean, her face was just like, oh my gosh, she had this awareness that she didn't have before. And it was so gratifying to see the change in her and to see that energy. And she came upon that awareness for herself. She was open enough to be able to see that. And it was such a lovely session. And she's still, obviously, as we all do, processing it today. But it's that awareness, as we said before, it never goes away. Once we
Yeah.
have it, we have it.
Yeah.
And
And you know what I love about what you just said is she's processing it and even now. See, when you're stuck in this disempowerment stage, you can't process. You're ruminating,
yeah.
right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember when my relationship ended, everybody knew it was going to end before I did. All my friends. They're like, Pat, seriously? Every anniversary, your partner went away. What clue did you not get, right? But other people see it better. However, I love what you said because when we're able to process, and I want to ask you this, processing alone is not really processing. I needed to get help from outside help.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this person did by coming to you, isn't it?
It is. I mean, and you're exactly right. It's one, it's getting outside of our heads, and it's two, even in my experience on the client side and as the coach, I've
Hmm.
experienced that sacred space where I can just allow myself
Hmm.
to go where I need to go. And as a coach, that's what I so believe in creating. It's creating that space for us, for the clients to find their answers, to find, or not even answers, but find what they want to find on their own. Take that journey. Have that one awareness. It may not be where they solve what they came into, but they leave with an awareness, and that can make all the difference. And so I just believe in my work so much and allowing others to find that. I find that precious. I mean, how much in our day or in our days do we have interactions where we can have that sacred space with people? Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good to
Yeah.
see you. Bye. You
Yeah.
know, to have that space.
I love it. And, let's talk about this. You know, let's look at the people in our lives for a minute. Let's have a moment. I am very blessed. I really am. I've been told that I'm blessed. People tell me that having a friend like my best friend Linda, who I've known since 1972, is not normal. See, they've told me this. They say having somebody that has seen the good, the bad, and ugly side of you, Pat, and your best days, your worst days, and you're like two peas in a pod. And so there's so much gratitude towards that. But I wonder how many people have people in their lives that help them feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question to ask all of ourselves. I mean, how many people in our lives truly inspire us? How
Mm,
many truly are there for us and, that we can learn from and that challenge us a bit. Um, it's, as I said before, relationships can change, and it's honoring those that are in our lives in the moment and seeing the gift in those.
yeah,
And what can be so empowering is really looking at the relationships in our lives that are supportive and that lift us up.
yeah,
And maybe not so easy, but maybe looking at those that, well, maybe they're not so supportive,
yeah,
and are we setting those boundaries around that? So I've come to learn, seeking out people that I can learn from, mentors that I can learn in my life. I don't know it all. And sometimes I can't see past my own stuff. It's allowing, it's allowing someone else to really, who I can look up to and admire and allow that to empower my own
Mm,
journey. I always, um, when I was growing up, and I would always look to my sister because she would always just tell me like it is. And there would be some points where I'd say, do I really want to tell Linda this? Because I know what I'm going to get.
Oh my God, I
And I
know.
so appreciate the fact that she didn't agree with my stuff. She would say, Kath, do you have all the information? Nope, not really. So she really just pulled me out, and I didn't always like it.
I
Um,
know.
and I so appreciate it. I just so appreciate that consistent, which
Mhm.
I saw as just love, you know.
Well, I love that we're talking about that. But, look, out of this comes now a knowing. What would we dare to do if we knew our life was holding you every step of the way? If we knew life just, what would we do? Let's go through this list because this is the lesson. This is the point by which we get to take inspired action in your own words.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's just chit chat, right? I mean, crust busting as an idea became a huge brand that people want me to bring back, but I never intended it to be that. It
Mm.
was an awakening moment. So, walk us through what we can contemplate for ourselves so we don't get stuck on the couch.
Yeah, and I invite everybody to take a look at this and hopefully it'll spawn some ideas of your own if they resonate or do not. So just go ahead and pause and really honor and look at the courage and wisdom that you've already shown in your life. It's really looking at how far you've come. It's so easy for us to look at what we haven't, but look at what we've done. Be conscious of how you speak to yourself. What thoughts and words are you using that can uplift and empower you? And shift those limiting beliefs that come up into empowering ones that really affirm your worth. Make decisions that reflect what matter most to you, even if it's not the easiest path. Build relationships like we were just talking about that really inspire you and that build you up, and learn from those whose path that you want to admire to help you on your own. And let go of those habits and people and things and environments that deplete your energy, diminish your self-worth. And, do something scary with that little hint of excitement. That's always, one of my hints that, yeah, don't know how it's going to work out, but there's some excitement in there. Allow that to empower you. And I'm always going to say, do what you love, do what brings you joy, whatever moment that is. Your favorite shirt, your favorite piece of music, that favorite quote. Do what you love, do what brings you joy in that moment,
Yeah,
whatever empowering looks like for you.
yeah,
True to your heart.
yeah. There is a series on television now with Chris Hemsworth, I think it is. I get Liam and Chris mixed up, but it's on the Disney Channel. And he talks about three different things that you must do to live a full life.
Mhm.
And and it takes you on his journey. One is face your fears, of course, right?
Mhm.
And there's just so many things. The other one is rewire your brain. So people are talking more about this, but what you and
Mhm.
I are doing is we're not actors in Hollywood. We don't have like a multi-gazillion dollar. What you're doing, Cathi, is saying, look, this is what I've learned. How do people now reach out to you and get help? Get off the couch, or if you're on the couch, put down the remote, right? How do they do that?
Yeah, just go to my website, and I'm actually excited. I'm putting out a newsletter, monthly newsletter. And what I really am doing is I'm going to be encapsulating what we're talking about and really putting in some fun activities, journal prompts, things like that, soul notes to really assist us in integrating this. I see us as, I'm on this journey with y'all, and I'm learning and teaching. I'm the student, the teacher, all at the same time. And I'd really just love for you to hear from you. Sign up and assist yourself in that integration with this information. Send me an email. What would you like to hear that we haven't talked about, that you wish we're talking about? Would love to hear from you.
I do too. Thank you so much for this today. And thank you to speak from the place of the heart Thank you for all of that. Cathi Belmont, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Our Soul Whisper with Cathi and Dr. Pat. Tune in every first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Take a moment now to breathe in and reflect on today's message. If it brought you peace, clarity, or insight, let it settle in your heart and maybe even journal about it. Remember to like and share this episode with someone who's ready to listen within. May our soulful echoes ripple outward, awakening awareness and deep remembrance. If this show touched something within you, share it. Let's create a world where most of us pause, listen inward, and allow our light to shine. Visit OurSoulWhisper.com for more.